Now, a DD tank is a vehicle whose flotation is achieved by means of a disposable canvas screen fitted to the tank hull just above the running gear, and this is erected by a combination of compressed air pillows and struts, and they envelop the vehicle completely above the tank. The watertight canvas walls provide the extra displacement to discount the total weight of the tank, and this of course enables it to float. And then on landing, the screen can be instantly collapsed by a quick release device, and then the tank is ready for action. But when it is afloat, there's only 3 or 4 feet of the screen showing above the waterline. And of course, this means that it looks quite an innocent canvas vehicle as it comes in towards the beach, with no hint of the lethal weapon behind. Swimming power was provided by small propellers at the stern, which could be engaged and disengaged with a gear, and thus that was why the tank was known as the DD, or duplex tank vehicle. And the idea was to transport these vehicles in a landing craft to a position about 5,000 yards out from the shore, and then launch them to complete the rest of their journey under their own power. To the enemy, in their beach positions, these boats would look exactly like the infantry landing craft assault, as only, of course, the screen would be visible, and therefore it was hoped total surprise would be achieved at the moment of touchdown. Well, we started our, I think initially, possibly rather light-hearted navigational training on the lake, but we soon realized that it was much more difficult than we had imagined. We started, as I mentioned, on a lake, and then, of course, initially indeed by day, and then training by night, using navigation lights and so on, and then we moved to the rather more complicated exercises at sea. And in April of 1944, we did the first really major exercise in Studland Bay, just by Bournemouth, where they had made a replica of the beach on which we were eventually going to land in Normandy. Not, of course, that we knew at the time where we were going. So we sailed out, all of us, loaded with live ammunition, towards mid-channel, turned around, and we were given the order to launch round about 6,000 yards off the beach. And I recall that it was pitch dark. Well, the sea was pretty rough, and by then most of us had quite a lot of experience of having these DD tanks in the water. And all of us were extremely surprised that that part of the exercise had not been called off, because in our hearts we knew that we had little chance of reaching the shore, which was a long way away. Anyhow, the order did not come to halt. The order, no order came at all, and so we had to go. And my tank was the first off this particular landing craft, and we went into the water, and we only went, I think probably about 50 to 100 yards. You will recall I said it was dark, and therefore one couldn't see everyone else, and it soon became very obvious that we were taking water. We had some pumps, hand pumps, we manned those, but the water was coming in far faster than we could pump it out. So Bob Gould, who was the troop leader, and I was merely his operator at this particular stage, ordered all the crew on deck, and we braced our backs against the canvas, the front of the tank, in a vain effort to keep the canvas upright. But the next thing I remember was an enormous wave coming over the top and water swirling around, and we sank to the bottom. I now know, although I didn't at the time, that we went down between 20 and 30 feet. And we were very lucky indeed that the tank finished the right way up. We were in a sort of air pocket on the bottom, and the canvas screen had collapsed over us, so we were trapped. But I was wearing flying boots against regimental orders, and I managed to get myself out of them, and with a half-blown-up Mae West, incidentally I'd already lost the Davis escape system kit, but with a half-blown-up Mae West, I came to the surface. I regret to say that none of my crew ever came up, and I was fortunate enough to be picked up about 10 minutes later by the Royal Navy. Altogether, the regiment lost 6 tanks from B and C squadrons. Incidentally, they're still there. 5 of them have been blown up because they were obstacles to shipping, but one, which we think is the one that I was on because it was the furthest out, is still lying on the bottom intact.